right. So I guess we'll start off with case. I'm going to show a quick clip of the beginning of case.
Einem Consult negates. First is framework. Neoliberalism or hyper-capitalism is the notion that the free market should be used to solve all issues and that maintaining the free market is what policymakers are for. We believe this notion is dangerous and thus provide a topical framework. You should vote for the team who best advocates for resistance to the expansion of current neoliberal structures in America. Prefer for two reasons. First is a root cause. Neoliberalism encourages profit over people. Lamont 13 explains that neoliberal systems are largely weighted towards corporations and the wealthy rather than the common good. This shapes perceptions and behaviors, resulting in relationships that undermine care and reduce the understanding of freedom. Second, because of education. Hill 10 notes that neoconservative faces of education weaken opposition thought. The focus is on the production of a compliant citizen. Essentially, people are treated as a commodity in the current neoliberal system to gain profit from, rather than a fellow human being, which reduces the chance for societal progress. Sole contention is.
All right. So I guess let's talk about framing first. I guess the first question is, you introduced neoliberalism in a pretty friendly way, even with like the definition and everything. If this panel was maybe a more policy oriented or more experienced panel, would you have introduced it in a different way? Or maybe if it was like a less experienced or a parent judge, would you have still introduced it in maybe with more like definitions and maybe less warrants?
Yeah. Well, I'll answer the second part first. If this was a lesser experienced panel with like maybe more parent judges, we typically read different cases itself, because even if like you can get them to understand like what the concept of neoliberalism is and understand how it works, they still have like a bias against the case, right? Because it's something they've just never heard before, which is why I think, especially when you have lesser experienced panels, just something that's just more people can resonate with, that's just commonly heard on the news is better. However, if we do have more experienced panels, we still typically do read the same type of framing, because ultimately I think public forum is, even if you read very complicated arguments, it's supposed to be telling the arguments to the public, right? So if I came up here and I read like some critical pedagogy type stuff, right? Like Lars and I could have done something like that, but a lot of judges would be lost. And even if there are policy judges who might understand it, they might hack against it. So when we do go more tech, it's usually in like the rebuttal and stuff, because even in case like this is like I think a 670 word case or something like that, keeping it slow and just helping it understand means the judges are kind of not going to be biased against you.
Yeah, so it makes sense. Like you're converting things to do more public forum mindset. So how do you do that? Like other than just defining words and stuff like that, how do you specifically convert those like techie arguments you've learned from policy and turn them into like a way you can present to flays and lays and even, as you say, tech judges in PF?
Yeah. First, as you mentioned, you got to get rid of the jargon, right? So if I use like the word like drone pedagogies or something, and the Hill card, which is the second card, use that term a lot, right? You want to either bracket it out or like cut it in a way that doesn't use it, right? The other way is you could write a case, for example, that it follows like the case structure, like link, impact, alt, right? But most PF judges could be like, I'm not used to that. I'm used to uniqueness, link, impact. So even formatting the K in a way that makes sense with uniqueness, link, impact makes a lot more sense. And in the actual contention structure, like this is a very pseudo K argument, even the contention level. So formatting in a way that more people can resonate with definitely helps. And I think the most important thing, even if the case it isn't super flay friendly, articulating it as very, very lay in the back half, even if you have the most tech panel in the world, helps judges resonate with that. And even if they're like on the fence, not understanding it, it's the best way to get it, just in my opinion.